What's going on, guys? Andrew here, aka DFSWarstrike. I'm joined by my co-host Cody, aka DFSProdigy. We're going to be breaking down the September 24th slate as the Lakers take on the Denver Nuggets here in a showdown. Cody, what's going on, man?
Nothing much. What about you, man?
Nothing too much. I'm just excited for this slate. It's NBA playoffs, almost NBA finals. Looking to dig into this with you.
Same here, man. So far, the salaries are looking interesting to me based on
Yep,
what we hit to find for value. It's always scary to find value.
I agree, especially in this particular matchup. Value's been kind of a hard thing with here, with minutes being piled up on just a small amount of players as well. But I think with the research we did and everything for you guys, I think we're going to have some great value plays for you guys to build off of going into this slate. So with that being said, Cody, I'm going to let you start it off. As we're at the top of the range, let's go with probably your favorite play within the 12K to the 10K range.
So starting up top, um, we had LeBron James, which the Q tag obviously don't worry about. He's obviously going to play. The Q tag is there for precautions in case something very extreme happens, but I highly doubt it, obviously. But given his salary's so high, I'm not really on LeBron. When you can go slightly down to 12,400 with Anthony Davis, who's a lot better play in my opinion. Yes, the rebounding was questionable last game, but it's Anthony Davis. There's not much more to say. It's literally who he is. He's going to get you the rebounds. He's going to get you all around the stats. But slightly below him, who I'm liking the most, is Nikola Jokic, who he's been consistent. He can go off for 60-point games, and he's the focal point of the offense, as we know, for Denver. I'm liking him a lot more, and I like him in the captain slot if I had to choose him. But with going more towards the 10K range with Jamal Murray, I'm not on Jamal Murray. I like other backcourt plays around him. He's not one of my favorites. I'm liking Jokic a lot more, even though the salary is higher. So if I had to choose, it would be between Anthony Davis and Nikola Jokic. I'm not getting towards, like I said, LeBron James whatsoever. I mean, you can obviously play him. You're not. I wouldn't blame you. It's not a risky. It's not a safe play. I mean, he's just a play that you can play no matter what, because LeBron James. But like I said, give me Anthony Davis and give me Nikola Jokic as my one of my captains. What are your thoughts, basically, in that salary range?
In that same spot, I'm kind of on the same boat as you. I'm not against LeBron. I'm just not on it. I think there's cheaper plays like Davis and Jokic. I'm more on the Davis side. Davis has a over 30% usage rate on this team, which is very high, especially for a Lakers team. Which, if you go back last game, he only had 2 rebounds. I don't see that happening again. I see him getting back to form like he was in the first 2 games. I'm good with Jokic. If you have to drop down $400, you can. It's like you said, it's between those two. Murray, I'm not really high on. I think 10-6 is kind of high for him. But yeah, like what you said, Davis and Jokic, I'm all aboard with them. Either one for captain with me. I prefer Davis at captain, but Jokic, I'm not against either. So, but that's really all I have to add on to that one. So
So,
with that being said, go ahead.
so what I've noticed is that people are going to flock to, of course, the combo with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, as we can always
And
see.
Anthony Davis.
They're always going to put LeBron and Anthony Davis together. But I think it's a
Yep.
bold stance for both of us to fade LeBron James, which that's what I'm kind of liking based on ownership. So that's what
Yep.
my big stance is taking the two big men and Nikola Jokic and Anthony Davis to be different, which I think that's a good route to go from a personal standpoint.
Yep. I agree. And then like you and I talked about earlier, we think that Davis and Rondo is a good pairing, no?
Yeah, so going down, Rondo played close to 30 minutes last game, which is pretty good for
Mm-hmm.
him because he typically was getting about 20 minutes overall. So the usage bump and the minutes bump is what I'm liking a lot from Rondo, along with the salary is only 7,400, which that doesn't scare me off of him, even though it's slightly high for given if he does play 20 minutes. But if he plays close to 30 minutes, I'm loving that salary because he can hit that value. So he got you literally almost 10 assists last game, which that's what he is known for. So, like I said with the combo earlier with Anthony Davis, I'm loving that combo between them two, who we know Davis can score, obviously, and Rondo will get you that assist bump. So there's you double points pretty much. So that's what I'm loving in Rondo is if he does play 30 minutes, I'm all over him, and that ownership will be in favor for us because I don't think people will be on him as much because if they box score, they'll see that those 20-minute games. So from a standpoint, that's
Yeah.
what I'm loving Rondo as a play.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think it's a good pair. Um, so just below Rondo is somebody that I'm high on. We talked about this before the show too, is Michael Porter Jr. I just like the consistency that this man's bringing at 6,800. You're finally starting to see a more consistent flow of scoring from him. He's starting to get the minutes this series, which to me has been well. His usage rate is over 20%, which I think is the third highest on the team. I'm all over Michael Porter in this because I'm loving to see the consistency, which is what I think everybody's been waiting for in this guy because everybody knows he can explode when it comes to scoring. He has the ability to break slates every time he steps on the floor. It's just whether the scoring comes involved or not. But I think with the last three games, even winning or losing, I think we've been seeing a lot more well scoring route for Michael Porter here.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point because of so yes, the minutes are scary, which we all know that based on how many minutes he does play, it can be anywhere from 20 to 30, sometimes
Mhm.
over 30 in some cases for him. But
Yep.
that like I said, that is scary. But to me, he can hit value whenever he does step on the court, like you were saying. He could easily
Yep.
break the slate. I mean, we saw him get close to 35 fantasy points in the first game in the series, so he can easily break the slate, and that value will be in your favor. So another viewpoint is ownership, which is key points for me. Is his ownership is going to be low because everybody's not going to like that the minutes are varied.
At 6,800. Well,
Is
that
in
and
it
6,800 too.
in at 6,800, they're going to say, well, his minutes are
Yeah.
not there and the price is high, which is it's a good viewpoint, but at the same time, we need to be different, which is another key point in the showdown slates is we got to be different, which that's why I'm liking Rondo and Porter Jr. I'm higher on Rondo while you're higher on Porter Jr., which, I mean, both guys are heavily favored in both our
Are great.
lineups, so I'm liking both of them a lot
Mhm.
more. I mean, in the mid-range, would you rather have Rondo, Porter, Millsap, and Grant? I'm taking Rondo and Porter easily in those price ranges because I'm trusting Millsap. I don't trust
Yep.
Grant. Yeah, Grant had a good game last game, but how are you going to trust Grant? So let's
Yeah,
start.
I just don't see him doing that again.
No, neither do I. So going down lower to Millsap and Grant, I'm not on Grant whatsoever, and I have never been on Millsap at all as a player either. Millsap is just way too inconsistent. You don't know what you're going to get out of him.
No.
He can't break the slate like Porter Jr. can. I mean, you're lucky to get 15 points in a game. So I'm off at
Mhm.
Millsap, and then Grant, yeah, he had a good game last game, but there's no trust in him whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I think Millsap's too expensive for what he provides for you anyways, because I think he's pretty much safe for like the 19 points, low 20 points, but at 6K, that's not enough. And I'm not really for that with Millsap. And I'm same with you with Grant. I don't see him consistently playing like that or continuing to play like that through the series. I think they'll start to slow down here. But if you want to drop down to the 5,200 below, I'm pretty big on KCP. I think Caldwell Pope at 4,600 is not a bad play here. I actually think he's been pretty well. I think he's, if I'm mistaken, I think he's scored double digits in five straight games. I like the way he's been scoring the ball recently. He's played the third most minutes on the team since the start of this series. His usage rate isn't too high; it's at 14.2%. But I just like the way the offense gets facilitated with him being able to score double-digit points in five straight games. I like the consistency he's bringing, and I think he's a pretty well valuable play here at 4,600.
Yeah, most definitely because of that price point. I mean, the questionable tag on Danny Green is the injury on his left hand, which is his non-shooting hand. So, but he did
Yep.
lead the game partially for it, which, I mean, the Q tag is scary, which he's probable now, but it's still an injury worth watching because of it's one of his shooting hands. So that worries me a little bit. So I'm not liking him. I never have. I think he's a scoring dependent guy who is way too hard to trust. But bumping Kyle Kuzma, because
Mhm.
I forgot about talking about him. Kyle Kuzma is just a guy who he does not belong to the Lakers, to say the least, in my opinion. He doesn't fit their
Yeah.
scheme. you're lucky to get 20 minutes out of him. I mean, he's just a guy that I never got to and I never will because of he's on the Lakers. Until he's on another team, I'm not even going to look at him, which I know that's a bold stance, but he's just a guy who's out there. You never know what he's going to do, but you know he's not going to get you over 20 fantasy points. So I'm off of him either way. But yeah, going down back to KCP, like the points you were looking at, he's going to get you 30 minutes no matter what. He'll get you a couple rebounds falling his way. He'll get you assists whenever you need him to. I mean, he can just get you all-around stats. I mean, it may not be a lot in one certain like area of scoring or assist-wise, but he'll get you the stats that will just pile up. So I like KCP a lot in that price range because you need a guy. Caruso's the two-guard who basically when Rondo is not playing well, Caruso will have to step up, but Caruso's just so scoring dependent also that I don't like him a lot. I mean, he's worth a shot if you want to take a shot on him, but I'd rather just pay up 200 for KCP.
Yeah, especially since we like the Davis and Rondo combo anyways. We're not hoping for Rondo to have a, bad game.
Exactly.
So that's kind of would be that'd kind of be the reason why I'm off Caruso too. All right, so digging in here, I'll let you take your boy at 3,600.
So Dwight Howard is a guy that I'm really liking. He starts the second half for you. Basically, all you need out of him is about 15 minutes, and he'll get you those blocks and will get you those rebounds. So what I'm liking out of him is, like I said, starting the second half is key for him. McGee is not playing at all well in this series, and somebody needs to be against Jokic. It's not going to be Davis. So, of course, who you're going to put on him is Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard has a history of doing well against Jokic, which is shown in the past few games. So he might not get you the points, but he'll get you the stocks, meaning the blocks and the steals. So I'm liking him a lot because he'll get you a couple steals here and there, which is surprising for Dwight Howard. So like I said, the stocks are pretty high on him. So given that he's only 3,600, you only need barely any points to hit value. So give me Dwight Howard.
Yep. For me, I see your reasoning in Howard. I'm fine with him. I'd also, for me, just me personally, I don't know how Cody really feels, but at 2,800, Monte Morris, I'm actually kind of on board with. I mean, for me, for him to hit 6-7 times value, he needs about 20 points, correct? So, I mean, he's getting roughly 18 now in the minutes that he's getting. I think with giving the 7th most minutes here in the series, and not only that, adding on to 17% usage percentage. Usage to me is like a big statistic when it comes to basketball because I just want to make sure I see how much they're involved. And with the series, just in this series, being 17% for somebody that comes off the bench to me kind of means a lot. And I think at 2,800, I think I can easily see him getting 6 times value, which I think he's been consistently getting anyways. But I know we have a pick down lower that you're going to like more that explains, I guess, the negative side of Monte Morris.
So if Monte Morris isn't playing, then a guy I like is PJ Dozier. So yes, it will scare you that he basically didn't play last game, but look at the past 2 games behind that is 14 minutes and 12 minutes. So given it's a risky play, of course, obviously, because maybe he won't play. It's only $1,000. So would you rather? I'd rather take a shot on $1,000 player that will maybe play 10 minutes and hit value easily in the minutes he plays, rather than paying up for somebody who is not going to play very well whatsoever, like Torrey Craig or Mason Plumlee or even JaVale McGee. Yeah. So given that PJ Dozier's only $1,000, I mean, it's a risky play, which, I mean, that's the name of the game is it's going to be a play that I like playing, but it's PJ Dozier who could close out the game easily and get you easily points. So I'm liking PJ Dozier a lot. Yes, like I said, the last game is scary, but if he plays 14 minutes like he did 2 games ago, he got you 12 points. So, and that's all you need to hit value, which that allows you to fit in the studs like LeBron if you want to do the pairing with LeBron and AD. So that's what I'm pretty much on is PJ Dozier. I'm going to watch his status a little bit more and see what I can find out about him, but I like him a lot for only 1,000. I don't see what can go wrong other than him not playing.
In
this game. He's kind of like
Go ahead.
He's kind of like the Enes Kanter of last night, basically, because of you don't know if Kanter's going to play minutes, but he can easily hit value. He's also kind of like the Robert Williams in the Celtics. So he's just a guy that I like all around. That it's a super risky play, but if he plays, he hits value easily for you at only 1,000.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, like you were saying, the 1,000 really opens up a lot more room to do a lot more stuff, and that would be the reason why I would kind of hop on board with you, because like you said, it's not going to take much to hit value. If you can just get what 10, 11 fantasy points, that's 11 times value for his price tag, which is ridiculous. So like I would be all for that, just so I could be able to go up and pay for monsters, considering that this type of particular game is hard to find value, and there's not much value to be laid out anyways. So I do like your pick with PJ Dozier.
Yeah, exactly. Because like it's not like the Heat and Celtics series where you have good players all around the salaries. Because
Hmm.
this series, it's obviously has been hard to find value. Because the best
Very
value you
much.
can find, in my opinion, is Dozier or, like you said, Morris. I'm not getting to
Hmm.
McGee whatsoever. We've seen him play, and he just is not playing like he should be. Mason Plumlee's only going to play minutes if Jokic is in foul trouble, which has only happened one time.
Yeah,
And then
that's a
Torrey
big risk.
Craig is just not look good whatsoever. Torrey Craig's not a guy I'm looking at, and neither format whatsoever.
No, no, I'm with you. Um, I think that's about it, though. I think we all our values, all our top plays, our favorite pairings. I think we're pretty much set here.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, that pretty much wraps it up based on there's no other value I'm looking at. I'm obviously not going to get to Quinn Cook or Dudley or anybody down below. Deion Waiters just doesn't play the game. So there's
Yeah.
nobody else down here. The lowest I would go is PJ Dozier at 1,000, which is weird to me because Harper's 1,600, and which I don't understand why PJ Dozier's so low price. I will definitely take advantage of it.
Yeah. But all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. We hope we've helped you in somewhat, some way, some form. Please subscribe to the channel here. Give us a shout out. Do whatever you can to possibly please help us. We thank you guys once more time, and that's going to be it for me. And we hope you guys can take down some money tomorrow.
Most definitely. Have a good one, everybody.